Good evening. It is Monday night. It's alive.
It is.
And it's definitely not because I'm going to be recording early in the morning and I'm not going to be doing any editing tonight. It's not happening. Just not going to happen. But nonetheless, we are here on a Monday night. Hodges, give the video a like. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you. Feel free to give the like. Eric pays for it. Speaking of, Mike here. Good evening. Carlos, I had to watch the live stream on Saturday. Please inform Eric that HR would like to see him immediately. Yes. On Friday, we did learn a lot about Eric's intolerance. And Brandon, as a fellow man of peace, we cannot condone nor follow through with the intolerance of Eric Wade. And if Willie O'Ree was still alive, he'd be rolling in his grave.
He is alive.
Not if you had anything to say about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Eric's just continuously getting further and further and further and further off the rails, off the bike, off the track,
everything,
off the trees.
Yeah.
Like off of all of the things, you know. And Eric, I actually, if I had a passenger in my vehicle the other day, I wanted to take a picture because it never dawned on me to share with you. You know, we always talk about the location and like you tell Carlos that Guelph doesn't exist and you have this imaginary place, Peabody or something like that. I want to let you know that just a few minutes up the road, I actually am closer to a Bostonian than you are. And you are the Boston fan. Boston, Virginia is literally just minutes up the road. And I just wanted to let you know, I am more of a Bostonian than you are.
It's a low bar, but I will grant you that. And I think the biggest problem that Eric has right now is right here. My cam. Eric Wade, we love you. If Florida Man is backing you, Eric, you're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah,
Mike was the subject, the half of a very intense discussion amongst the fantasy baseballs in the Discord yesterday.
Okay.
There was a very questionable, very, very questionable, silly trade still in May. And Mike Dunn gave up and passed along all of his wares to the one and only Neo for pennies. Can't believe you, Mike. Anyways.
And Mike here says, congratulations to all the 2026 graduates. Remember these 3 words till you get on your feet on the ground. Fries with that. Add question mark, and I think you nailed it.
I think in today's modern era, it's my pleasure.
Perhaps.
That's the Chick-fil-A term. Like it's the only place I hear it, but they say it a lot. My pleasure.
I think they're supposed to say it a lot. Yeah, I think it's mandated. So look, we'll find out what else is going on at Chick-fil-A. We'll hopefully begin some of Eric's sensitivity training, and we'll find out about Mount Slab growing. Yes, I've got a story about that. And Carlos went into a card show this weekend. I've got a couple of quick stories about that, along with all the usual segments. That and more on this episode of the BIC podcast. Yes, under the watchful eyes of Brett Favre. Although he did avert his eyes a couple of times on Friday because he's like, you know what? Welfare fraud is fine, but I cannot be a party to whatever it is that Eric's doing. Just saying.
Right.
Mike Kemp says, what? I'm looking to the future. Didn't see any other offers. I'm dead last and living out of the IL. Damn. Indeed. So real quick, before we get into the rest of discussing whatever it is that Eric has done, because there's a lot of concerns we have. We'll get into all that.
Right.
Good evening, Jeff. So as I mentioned on the Friday Live, it was brought to my attention that there was a mall card show on the weekend. Now, let me begin by kind of spoiling the result. It went exactly as I expected. However, Brandon, I think there's a lesson here. And the lesson is, if you already know what to expect, then really you can just enjoy yourself regardless. The weather was fantastic. It was a great day outside. Honestly, I was over it. Beautiful. Like it was gorgeous. And it was exactly what I expected. Going into it, I expected 99.9% Pokemans. And to the shock of no one, it was 99.9% Pokemans. Now, let me quickly share. I'll quickly share a couple pictures just to get the point across. So here it is, what they did actually, and it wasn't a bad idea. I'll give credit to the people that set it up. They basically had two different things. The main section is down here, and it actually got super busy. This picture is actually fairly early on, and it actually filled up pretty quickly. So I will tell you, Eric, a couple of those little mini aisles in there, you couldn't move. Like, honestly, like it got super busy down there.
That looks that looks like they tried to cram a lot into a small space.
They did, but I will say they actually managed to get quite a number of the little Pokemon vendors. Now I do have a couple of observations that I will share about this. And the other thing they did though is there is that upper section there. They actually put another 10 or 15 vendors in the upper section, so it's like single aisle. Okay. So the way I went into the mall, I was actually technically in the upper level, which actually isn't a bad thing because that means those vendors were able to get those folks coming in from that entrance, and then the rest of them were kind of down in that lower section. Now, I will say, and this is something that's kind of I've observed with the Pokemans, and that is as follows. I feel like, Brandon, I know they've got billions of cards, but I feel like most of the vendors focus on just filling in a couple of showcases. I think, Brandon, if you went in with the money and wanted to clear out dealer tables, I think all you need is a 1,600 count box, and you could have basically emptied out 3/4 of what was there. Because really it's in sports cards we're used to the showcases, having showcases, but sometimes you got multiple cards layered on top of each other. On a lot of those Pokemon showcases, it was like one layer. So basically, and it wasn't like they had boxes behind them to refill it or whatever. So I feel like they made money. Like, no, people were buying. Like they had kids there and they had adults there, parents with their kids and all that. So there were plenty of people making moves around there. But it was basically like, I feel like a 1,600 count box, you could empty this thing out. Basically, if you just had enough cash, you could basically empty the whole place out and walk out of the place with a 1,600 count box of everything that most of the inventory that was available. So it was kind of an interesting thing that I hadn't thought of previously because I don't spend too much time in that section. So it was funny for what it was. I got a kick out of it. I basically went, looked around a little bit, and then I went to go get lunch. Now, the advantage of it being in a mall, brand, is you can literally walk over to the food court. It's like 5 feet over. So I just walked over to the food court and grabbed lunch. The weather was beautiful outside. Like it was fantastic. And you could literally sit in a little patio outside and kind of enjoy the weather. Now, two things, Eric. For me personally, because the show was a little bit of a bust from that perspective, I didn't find anything at the show of interest. I did find the one dealer with sports cards. There was one dealer with sports cards, Eric. 2 showcases full of sports cards. No. I could have had the Shohei Ohtanis. I could have had some other. I could have had some shiny Vladik Juniors.
No, sir.
Yes, there was one guy. But Eric, that wasn't the most important thing to me. That wasn't it. No. The most important thing to me was finding out about A. This is a store in the mall, A. And not only that, they got a goddamn bear. Got a goddamn bear in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's a true Canadian store right there. We don't have
a proper Canadian store.
A.
That's right.
We don't have A.
Yeah. And I was going to, and Eric, that I wasn't done with that. That wasn't enough for me. I needed to get down to the bottom of an important mystery. I needed to know, what is King Corn?
Yeah.
And you know what, Eric? Yes. But Eric, having been there, right in front of King Corn, as you can well see, that was open, but didn't seem to be staffed by anybody. The machine seemed to be going. I actually walked by 2 or 3 different times just to see, and they've never seemed to be anybody there.
So it's like a Beckett booth.
Yeah, basically. Okay. But I will say, after looking at it, I can see like there's ice cream on the side. You can smell corn, but at the same time, I don't know what they actually make. And as far as I know, all I know is it involves corn and a King Kong logo. So I haven't completely solved the mystery. The important thing is that I did confirm the location of King Corn.
Okay.
And that concludes my show report. I went over to the record store, which actually existed, was still there. I did patronize it. I purchased a couple of CDs. And then I went over to the Lids. I bought a hat. So I didn't leave empty-handed.
Okay.
And that concludes my card show experience.
What do they sell at A?
Literally Canadian merch, like things with flags on it. Basically, Eric, it's like what would happen, it's basically like if the devil went to the church and died because of exposure to all the holy artifacts. It would be like if you went to a store that was full of American paraphernalia. Since you do hate America, the troops and freedom.
So I want to be fully transparent and honest. When you sent that picture the other day, I thought this, like, I didn't catch on to the A. I thought it was E and H, and they were just being creative using the Canadian maple leaf as, the and symbol. But it also reminds me of like the gift shops that are all over Niagara Falls and everything that have all of the Canadian merch. That's kind of what it looked like through the windows there. So,
And it would make and Brandon, that would make a lot of sense if it weren't for the fact that it's literally in North Mississauga and you're not near any specific connection that would directly lead. You don't necessarily need a tourist trap, Brandon. It's just kind of random. It's just kind of random.
Canadian apparel.
It's just Canadian apparel.
Is it made in Canada though?
This is the follow up. So like I said, so now Brandon, that I know that they have there, I think we're good to go. So the next time I'm up down by that neck of the woods, by the way, I did enjoy patronizing because I actually didn't realize Sunshine Records was still open. A lot of the record basically franchisees have closed. So as it turns out, Sunrise actually purchased HMV. So for years, I used to buy these things at HMV. Well, it turns out Sunrise Records purchased HMV. So now they have a lot of their locations. So Sunrise Records continues to live. So I did support and purchase a couple of CDs from Sunrise Records.
Yeah, I miss the music stores.
Yeah, so that's why I try to patronize it when I can. It was like, okay, if you guys got anything that it was decent to me. I did see they had basically door stops. I think they had Kiss CDs on the floor. So they had those. So you could have gotten those if you needed any door stops.
Not nice.
Just saying. Mike here says, breaking news. Carlos starts a new channel, all PSA all the time, 24/7, 365. And since Eric will be leaving the show, he can host a new channel with 12-hour shifts. The second part of that has always been true. The first part of it, I'll take it if they pay enough. Just saying. I've been very clear on this. We will sell out. Good evening, Keith. Good evening. Making jambalaya. Literally. That's not a figure of speech, though it should be. I like it. I respect it. So that concludes my show report. I would say that Bobby's, we'll talk about it on Friday, but I would suggest that Bobby's attendance at the Markham show was probably a little more successful. I would dare suggest, since they probably had other merchant. But Brandon, my big observation, I will say, my big observation, and maybe this is something that I need to discuss with someone more familiar with the Pokemans. I am actually surprised that so many of them, even though like they're, the kids are obviously there with their parents and they're buying shit. It surprises me though that they would bring so little inventory. Like I know that you're buying inventory, but I feel like you would bring some more just in case your sales go well, like so that you have more to sell, especially since it's a 2-day show. Just throwing it out there.
If they just don't have more.
Maybe. But it seems what's funny about that, and that's possible, by the way. I totally agree that's possible. But I will ask, this is almost like it's a weird catch-22, Eric. On the one hand, literally PSAs ground to a halt because there's so many Pokemon cards that are being graded. By the way, so many have already been graded. So in theory, these are out of circulation already. Millions and millions and millions. And I went to a card show that was like 99.99999% Pokemon. And it felt like the dealers didn't really have a lot of inventory. I'm like, there's no shortage. There's plenty of these cards available in theory. Where are the cards?
So this is something I think I mentioned in the video I did. And I really wish, and don't get me wrong, I think everybody is pretty appreciative of what GemRate does. Mm-hmm. But with the numbers being so high now on the category of TCG, I do wish that he could break that category down further to show, like we have, baseball, football, mm-hmm. basketball individualized on the sports side. I wish we could see what the spread is for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, One Piece.
He can't do that.
Yeah, well, I just haven't seen it like posted that way.
For the high level, so Neo utilizes this a lot because he knows the guy that does it. So to put a long story short, when he's pulling the data, it's database. It can literally parse it out in almost any way you want. You can even know how many of a specific Pikachu are being graded.
Right,
like it's not even down all the way down to the granular level. The only thing is for the regular reports that he's putting out on the social media, he's not going to be that granular, but he can totally build a report that would pull all that information.
Well, and this might ruffle some feathers, but
ruffle away.
We already see the spread is what, 2-1 plus.
I would say it's close to 70% right now. It's real close to 70.
So at this point, it would almost feel like it'd make more sense to just say sports and then individualize the TCG categories because that is the bulk of what is being done. You know, and I made a joke, you know, PSA, the S is for sports, and should they change to PTCGA because that's what the hell they're doing now, you know? But it's all in good fun there, but it would be interesting because I think we're generalizing it with Pokemon, and it probably is the majority category.
A lot of it, yeah.
But I would like to see what percentage is like One Piece, which is probably I don't know if it'd be One Piece or Magic. Which one would come up like second?
I feel like One Piece would be pretty strong right now.
Yeah.
You know, Magic has a place, but I know Magic is pretty strong with CGC. Like there's a lot of folks that use the CGC for Magic. So, and Beckett actually gets a little bit of Magic too. So I would guess they'd have a fair bit.
Yeah, I just think it would be interesting to see those numbers broken down like that, and it would also give everybody a bigger picture. You know, I'll tell you this: my son has never really been into the Pokemon cards, and he actually surprised me the other day. He was in Yu-Gi-Oh! He played the Pokemon video games, and then he got into Magic the Gathering more so to play the game, but he also was trying to collect them. And he told me that he's actually giving up trying to collect Magic. He still wants to play the game, so he'll still build decks or whatever.
Yeah.
But he said that there's so much that constantly comes out, he can't keep up with it. And he decided that he wants to build a binder of the Pokédex. Basically just a card for each character in the Pokemon Pokédex. Nothing, you know, like it doesn't have to be the most valuable ones. He just wants a card to build out the Pokédex. And he said the reason is it would give him a project that he could focus on.
Yeah, that's basically like a typeset. It's not a bad idea, actually. That's a good way of like it gives you a theme and specific things to target.
There's like a little over 1,000 right now, but every new game that comes out, like every new video game, they normally introduce some new characters. So he said it would give him time to work on it, and it's not like they're constantly adding to it. And so it would give him like a project to work on that he could stay focused on. So.
So read a couple of comments here. Cardinal says, I believe I heard in April, May, or May, April combined was 80% TCG. I think depending on where the location is. Yeah. I like I said, I think it's 70% across the board, but it's definitely skewed super heavy TCG. Amanda joining us. Yes. All your base are belong to us. Non-sports peep. I appreciate the all your base are belong to us reference. I always appreciate that reference. I believe someone on Hobby Hotline said TCGs like trading cards was like 20 years ago. They're slapping everything and trying to catch up. So I did make a similar reference to it on the Friday. And basically, yeah, what I was saying is that they're basically catching up because for them, they've got literally billions of cards available. Now, to an odd decision, they've decided that there are a lot of $20 cards that they're slabbing for no reason because, again, the premium for some of those is minimal. Like there's barely any premium. But they basically went hog wild on it. Eventually, though, that's why I said on Friday, my prediction, I don't have a timeline for you, but my prediction is eventually they will burn themselves out. When they do, the number will plateau and then start coming down. But here's the funny thing. What's going to happen at that point is then once the number goes down to a more manageable number and it starts skewing closer back to 50-50 or thereabouts or whatever, if the number becomes more manageable, then all of a sudden you start doing the specials. The price point is a lever. Like right now is basically they created their own scenario where they waited too long. Like they've had these numbers and they've been showing that the backlog was getting bigger. You literally are seeing a pile of cards get bigger and bigger and bigger, and somebody didn't think to press the button sooner. Like you had the option to press the button sooner. And by the way, even in the panic, Brandon, a note that should be noted, and it's one of the things I'm going to bring up tonight in a minute. Even though they hit the panic button, they didn't fully hit the panic button. It's actually June the 2nd. And not only that, it's June the 2nd. You don't have to have your cards in. You have to have it in the system. You got a little leeway there of, a little bit of time where more cards can be sent in. Yes. So Eric can get all his lemons in overnight. I'm just saying.
I mean, think about how many people are going to try to beat the deadline. They're 10 million cards behind, if not more. They're going to be freaking 20 million behind by midnight. It's utter ridiculousness that they didn't just say we're done right now.
I was surprised they said 10 because when they raised the price up and changed to like the 50 card thing for the value or whatever it was, if you looked at like when they adjusted the turnaround, it actually, and going based off of the numbers that they do each month, it felt like it was more in the 12 million range at that point. So when they said 10, I was kind of surprised at that. I thought it was going to be higher.
It is now. One.
Well, so I'm going to get into that. I want to touch on that in a second.
I just think it was.
I actually have a reference that I'm going to use for this. So there is something. So hang tight to that thought. Hold that thought, because I will actually bring something that will play into what we talked about, but then also offer some additional thoughts on that we can play into it. So here, T206 Kid says everyone was on the One Piece wagon a few months ago. It seems to me that it fell off a cliff. Yeah, that's where we can pull the data and find out a little bit more. So we'll see. And don't forget, though, the gem rate data is delayed by a couple of months, because any gem rate stuff is just what's appeared in the population report. And obviously, because the lag time is there for bulk so much, when you're looking at information. So right now, when we get the information for the previous month here, upcoming, I'll double check if it's posted yet for April. But regardless, for May. When it posts for May, in reality, that's from stuff like in January or December. Like, it's actually, you have to go back however many months were backed up for the bulk rate. It's not for specifically that month. You're not caught all the way up. So the stuff that's going on right now, anything that gets graded right now won't appear for a couple of months on the pop report. So there is a bit of a delay. But I've been have those kilts that Bobbles bought in bulk. They're still in the backlog.
I have sold a few of them, not all of them. I have not listed all of them, but they do sell, which gives me confidence that I have a good savings account.
All I'm saying is, if you sold all the kilts, it'd be you buying GameStop, it'd be you buying collectors, it'd be you buying Microsoft.
I have sold a few of them though. They do sell, so
but you still
that's
have
good news.
Kilt,
he's still killed Baron.
Yeah, he's still got a backlog of 10 million, just like
yeah. I mean, it works with the space, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Amanda says I'm still prepping orders. Ham says dealer sent 1,000 cards today. Yeah, it's gonna play into it.
Point.
Yeah, it says, are we going to boycott submitting before or after they begin refusing submissions? Yes.
All the boycotts. Doing all the boycotts. This is boycott June.
No question.
Boycott month. No, we're gonna raise the.
Hey, that campaign was so good that PSA agreed and just extended it.
Yeah, they decided to take pity on him and go, yeah, sure, we'll do that. I got one card in the system I sent in February through group submission. You're a sucker if you still pay with PSA club membership at this point. That's fair. I get you. Jeremy uses actual data, and Mike Baker has no idea what 100% of the population looks like. The vintage card, he says top 15. Yeah, it's just pulling from the database. Yeah, gem rate is a lot of people. I think it surprised me, Brandon, how many people did understand that all gem rate is doing is pulling data from the PSA database as they add it into the pop report. So that's the reason they're not just coming up with those numbers. It's just, but the thing is, there's a delay though, because it actually has to get input into the system. It's not just when the cards come in. It's when the cards come in and they got out of the boxes and actually went into the pop report. So when you see them on the gem rate, by that point, they are in the pop report. So if you were to look up the specific ones, that's where you'd see them. Just not Dell or Micron. Yes. Indeed. IBM is having a surge too. Yes. So we'll see. Maybe he has to sell a few more kilts for that one. Who knows? But a couple of things to think about. So let me do this. We'll do silly card of the week here. And then I'll share a Instagram post that'll play into exactly what we were just talking about. So we'll get into that. But let me do the silly card of the week here. So first things first, I'm going to give you the results from last week. So last week, it was just myself and Iraq. So this time around, let's take a look and see what happened. Here are the results. Every vote is counted as always. Moose.
Oh, man.
75% of the popular vote, much like TCG dominates.
I thought I asked you to title it "What You Talking About, Willis?" Not Scroodland. I specifically
Eric, counterpoint, I don't listen to you.
What You Talking About, Willis was what I wanted it titled. I think the fix is in.
Mm-hmm. Counterpoint, Eric, like your wife, like your family, like everyone around you, I don't listen to you.
Now, there's that.
Just throwing it out there. Just figured it. Just in the spirit of fairness, I just feel like it would be appropriate for me to point out that I don't actually listen to you.
There is that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Few fun days in the old Robinhood account. Indeed. So we'll have 3 selections this time around. All will be available. You can make your selection. They'll be part of a community post this week. Upcoming. You can choose whichever one you want. So we'll quickly go over those, and then we'll come back to this topic because I got more things to say and with some more things to talk about. All right. Go ahead, Rock. This one's yours.
So this is the great Ken Griffey Jr. Sitting in a Looney Tunes locker room, and something be stinking. And he got the stink face, and you can see the odor. I'm guessing it's probably Pepe Le Pew. And I thought this was a very silly card with, you know, the face and the Pepe Le Pew. I don't know what you'd call that, but trail the smell trailing Pepe as he walked through the locker room. I thought that was, for such a legendary player, one of the GOATs, probably the GOAT of his generation, very silly card to be a part of.
Wow. Just wow. Counterpoint.
This is a damn churro card.
I think that's an
Serial
appropriate, like,
numbered.
that's a good description. That's appropriate description.
A serial numbered churro card. And if you don't think the card's funny, what this thing sold for is definitely hilarious, because I still am mind blown that we are at the day and age that somebody paid over $500 for a damn card with a churro on it. Go to Disney and buy the actual churro.
It'd be cheaper.
Anyways, that's all I got. That was nonsense.
Mm-hmm. You know who could go for a churro? My guy, Bernie Brewer. Because not only do you have Bernie Brewer, you got a Bernie Brewer autograph. And on top of everything else, Bernie Brewer autograph is looking pretty good. Those B's are looking pretty solid. He could teach the kids a thing or two. Be like Bernie Brewer. Have an autograph where at least some of the letters are legible. Think about it. Think about it. And then you can have a drink
I
after.
gotta have a talk with him because I signed my B's like that.
Interesting. So those will be the options. All 3 will be included in the community post. You can select your favorite. CC says, good evening, gents. On the topic of grading, did you guys see Mike Baker's Slab and Authenticate, a card that was also had the Mike Baker IPO sticker on it? Yes. I did. We did highlight one of those in Cardboard Cynics, actually. And I always love when Mike Baker stickers a Mike Baker Slab.
I mean,
Churros always wins. Listen, Churros is a solid option. It's a solid contender. The Burrell says Eric French Jackson is getting better. Not.
Well, Bobby.
That's 10. The B looks like Bobby Witt's signature. I've never seen Bobby Witt, Bernie Brewer, and Brandon Bobbles and ball cards at the same time.
Nope.
In the same room. Bobbles takes the kits and makes scarves out of them and gives them out to Christmas presents. Maybe. He's a charitable man.
Don't give my wife any ideas. She's already got the damn Christmas cards figured out. We're at June 1st. And she's already had the Etsy person or whoever it is start working on the Christmas cards.
I think you should all just pose in the kilts.
No, you've seen her Christmas cards.
I have, and they are very well thought out.
Well, spoilers this year. Nah, I'm not gonna. She'll be mad at me. I can't give the spoilers.
I was gonna say,
I can't give the spoilers. Can't give the spoilers.
I was gonna stop you because I don't want you to die.
She's already had them worked on though. Like they're already being made.
Yes, she'll kill you.
Is this one of those situations where, like, the planning stages, as soon as the first one has come out, the planning stages are already in effect for the next one?
Just between us, I don't understand this one.
I won't.
Indeed. All right. So quickly, I'll cycle back to what I was talking about. And just for visual representation, Eric, because I do appreciate a good visual representation, I made reference in the title to the Mount Slab growing.
Yes.
So we need to understand, we need to visualize. So what this topic is, it's going to be us talking about Slab Mountain.
Yes.
As it continues to grow larger, more powerful, take up more of our land. Very dramatic, by the way. The sky in the background, very dramatic.
you know, I have a lot of stuff on my desk, a lot of stuff on my desk.
And some of it you even purchased legitimately. The rest you stole, but go on.
Well, that might be true. But I would say, I mean, quick count one.
Good evening, you're up. We were believers.
I mean, there's like 50 something items on my desk, you know, to kind of for me to gaze at. Out of the 50 different things on the desk, I only have 3 slabbed cards.
Come on, Eric, do better. Do better.
But
so the good news is, Brandon,
I don't think
this will be soon remedied. Eric shortage, his lack. Yes, I see. Eric's lack will be resolved in short order because on the heels of PSA announcing that it is going to close those value level services, and again, they gave people time. Technically, there's still time right now, even as we're speaking, but via sources. So we do love some sources. Per Neo Cards and Comics, 2.5 million cards have been submitted since Wednesday.
That proves my point. Thank you, Neo.
I appreciate that we got the visual graphic to go along with it.
I mean, I just, you know, I was going to say earlier, if you're like in panic mode going, oh crap, we're in trouble. You know, you say, listen, as of midnight tonight, we're accepting no more. Why in the world would you give, like, you know, days of advance notice so people can do this? You set yourself up to be inundated, and your biggest issue is you're overloaded. It doesn't make it just doesn't make any sense. Yes, Neo, thank you very much. And again, I will say this again because Neo is here and listening. I don't watch a lot of, hardly at all, watch YouTube, you know, channels about the hobby. But if and when I am interested in trying to pick up some information, some news about what the next thing that's going down is, he's the guy I go to. His is the channel I flip on and listen to and get the information from. Honest to God, I don't watch 50 different channels to get the story. I go just to him. He tells me what's going on. I go, thank you, Neo, and I move on with my day. Just wanted to say that.
Can we put tinfoil on just for a moment? And
it's always on standby. Go on.
And create. We really should create this rumor because I think this would just be fun.
Wow.
So the whole GameStop guy, what's his name? Cohen or whatever, was going to buy eBay.
I think it's Ryan Cohen or something like that.
Yeah. He was going to buy eBay, but eBay like hurt his feelings, broke his heart. What if this is PSA's attempt to coax Cohen in to buy PSA? Plot twist. You know, that backlog is nothing but money. So building it makes it more valuable, right? He was willing to overspend for eBay. So if they can make the pile and the value higher.
Well, I don't know if he was overspending for eBay. I think the issue is he didn't actually have the money. It's not that he was offering too much.
The alleged offer was more than the eBay worth.
In theory, yes. In theory, yeah. So I don't know. So Carlos is everywhere relaxed. HGA is restarting 2026. They said it'd be a soft launch. Listen, Neo did kind of like HGA once upon a time. So just saying, throw it out there. Yeah, I did put in the offer. So Neo, let me know if you want to say a few words to the people because we didn't get it. We didn't get the live, Brandon. What I really wanted, like the video did well. What I wanted was the live to go along with it. That's what would have sold it over the top when the whole thing broke down. But it is what it is. I'm not a fan of Mike Baker stickers. If the card is graded to 5, you can't sell it as if it's greater than 7. 5 is just a 5 in my opinion. Speaking of graded, yes, gotcha. Stickers nothing more than putting this on a pig. Well, put some on your cards. What are you trying to do, man?
And that's all it is. It's a 5, but it's got the eye appeal of an 8. So I'm putting my sticker on it, and now I can charge more. It's just like, I don't know, man. Just I don't get it. It's so stupid to me.
Yeah. Here's a headline for you. Florida man offers to buy PSA.
The math doesn't math.
At least it's trying. But yeah, so that kind of plays though. If you take the 2.5, let's just take the 2.5 number again, hypothetically, based on sources. Regardless though. On Friday, we speculated about this though. We said, let's take, Brandon, the 10 million. Let's just take it at face value. Like, I really don't care about quibbling about the specific number. That's not important. We know it's a crap ton of cards. I think we can all agree it's a crap ton of cards. Let's just agree with that.
That's what we'll say. We will not give a number. We'll simply say crap ton of cards. Everyone will know what we mean.
Up until now, we know that PSA is pretty consistently churned out about 2 million a month. In a lot of cases now, it's 2 million plus per month. So the idea that 2 million a month is going out and being included as part of that data set, but the pile's still getting bigger, suggests, we don't need to do a lot of crazy maths, but it stands to reason that more than 2 million is coming in because the pile's still getting bigger. So regardless, however you want to slice this, if you put the stop to the value levels, which is what they're doing, and you gave a little bit of leadway there, it's going to lead to a surge. So we were saying, because they said they were anticipating 4 months. And then we mentioned on Friday, we did a little bit of napkin math here because we said, okay, so they're doing about 2 million a month and change. And they said they're thinking about 4 months and they want to get it back down to 5. And I said, well, you're starting at 10 and you want to get to 5. That's not 4 months. Well, I said, what if you're anticipating millions of cards coming in and that last surge, they get you closer to 13 or 14 million. Then the 4 months or so makes a little bit more sense. That actually falls in line with it. Now, again, they're not shutting down everything. If you're willing to pay $80 and over, you can still submit your cards. So Eric can still send all his lemon ends in at $80 a pop.
Well, you still have the $10,000 level also, which I will be participating in.
Well, Eric, I assume that was only being reserved for the Gordie Howe with the leprechaun behind it.
Oh, of course. Why else would you?
That's the ultimate grail.
Why else would you use the $10,000 level if it wasn't for the Gordie Howe and a leprechaun?
Indeed. Because they would charge $1,000 a card and people will still grade. I like the suit. Just tell me the real
way wild. Like, realistically, we thought COVID was crazy.
Well, it was.
It was, but
at the time,
it was explainable. People were at home. People were bored. It drug people in. There was the government checks being handed out, all that stuff.
By the way, Eric, I've still not received any dime. I got screwed during this whole deal. Not a dime.
You should have just jumped the bridge and came on over.
I guess so. Like, I don't know. Jeez.
But I mean, there was some sort of explanation that could be, or excuse that could have been used for it. We don't have that right now. Like, this is just craziness. And I would almost say it's teetering on crazier than then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think in a lot of ways it is. Yes, I agree with that. So Ham's asking an interesting question here. So when this is over, what is your thought on how much it'll cost to grade per card? I say $39.99. Now I have a question, Ham. I have a follow-up question. How long after it's over? Because I think when it's initially over, when they get past this specific one and get to a number they like, I don't think they're not going to go all the way back to bulk. I think they're going to start off near. So right now it's 80. I think they're going to go to like 50 or 60. And the idea is to only reopen as you get more space. The only time, so here's what I predict. I don't have a timeline for you. That's what I was talking about earlier. I believe that the Pokemans people will dictate when the numbers shift over. If they bore of submitting the cards in mass and the numbers drop off substantially, that's when you'll go below 40. So I do believe that eventually you will get below $40 a card, but it will not be anytime soon because Eric has a lot of Pokemon cards to send in.
I understand that the longer they stay closed, the longer they're not making money, and that's bad for business. I understand that.
They are making money, Eric. We literally talked about this on Friday. They are making money right now. They're making money literally as you speak.
Right. But the longer you stay closed and you don't have, all those cards coming in, you're not making the kind of money that you were making. And that's not good business. But in a perfect world, it would be nice to see them get down to as close to zero in the stockpile that they have as possible. But what's going to happen, and I don't think people understand this, is we're going to pretend 10 million is, we say a crap ton of cards, but we'll say 10 million. They're not going down to zero and then say, okay, open the gates. They're going down to like 3 million.
Eric, they literally said 5.
Yeah. So, I mean,
no, they literally said 5. They said their goal for the reopening is 5.
So there's still going to be a shit ton.
Yes.
Overloaded and behind schedule. And it's just.
And Paul's got the right idea here. So 5 million or thereabouts, under 5. Basically, they want to get under 5 is the goal that they're shooting for. At 2 million plus per month, that's about a 2-month backlog. And that's almost ideal for them because there's 2 million a month. So if you ramp it up at all, that's about a 2-month backlog, which is about what they're shooting for. So that still keeps the wheel going. But even with what they've got right now, even if they didn't add, I gave you guys the napkin math on Friday. Even if they didn't add a bunch of more cards, which is what we already estimated they did, and I gave you at the bare minimum the old bulk rate, which by the way is not true. There's cards that are not at the minimum bulk rate that are at the higher levels. I told you they're sitting on $375 million in unrealized profits sitting in that warehouse right now. So and that's at the most conservative number I could come up with for you.
Here's a question for you guys and the chat here. We're discussing where will the grading prices land. Okay. If you're looking at let's assume let's just speculate 39.
Great reference, Bobby.
What is that pushing? What effect is that going to have overall in the space on both graded and raw cards? Because right now we're seeing this, sometimes there's this weird, the card isn't that much raw, but if you send it in, it gets a 10, it bumps it up to this unrealistic number. At $40, I mean, we're not spending $10 cards in and paying $40 to get them graded. So where do you think the general consensus of the space is going to have on a raw number to make it worth sending in at a bottom number of $39.99 to be graded? And with that, does that drive up the values of some of these raw cards?
I'll touch on that because I think we had kind of questions to that thing. So Paul's saying, that's misleading cards, just 375 million profits, not revenue. Like I said, that's assuming 25 per card. It's not 25 per card. I intentionally went low because literally there's a bunch of those cards that are not at the minimum 25 per. There are people that paid higher than the 25 that's sitting in that pile right now. So that 375 is actually the lowest possible number I could come up with. And even then it's kind of conservative. There's more in there, built in there. So they probably have the 375 in profit because there's more built into the levels that were not the bare minimum. Set collectors help build PSA, and now we're not able to submit cards for our sets. I blame Eric. The Pokemans. Profit margin still high? Yes, it is. It is indeed. Yes. We're also going to get graded cards. It will only affect newest products. So yeah, kind of playing into that. A lot of folks were asking that question. They're like, but I'm sitting there learning are we ignoring the 80 million already pre-existing cards? So I gave a couple of specific examples. I said, if you're trying to buy an 89 Upper Deck Griffey, there's 4,000 of them in PSA 10. There's tens of thousands of them in a 9. You will have absolutely no problem getting them. The price will not move 1 inch. If you're trying to get some of those newer sets, though, where maybe there isn't a lot available, then that could adjust pricing.
That's what I was basically meaning on, because we've discussed at many times, all three of us, about where we're at in the space with wax prices and everything else. And we know a lot of that is from the demand being pushed and driven by what some of the card prices are fetching, even in the ultra modern market. So if we're going to get or potentially see another bump because of the graded value and people feeling that, with the grading fees going up, then the card values are going up with that, and it's pulling it all along, then we have to believe that from what we've seen, it's going to still drive up the wax prices. And, another thing, just to touch on Robin's thing with the sets and grading and all that, I remember everybody screaming to the high heavens that, you know, the set registry was what drove PSA's values and everything else. Set registry folks ain't really doing this shit at these prices. This is all craziness. So I think we can toss that out the window as the excuse for PSA values now.
Mm-hmm. See here, high and rail 300 up and get a bump. I'd be curious how you came up with that number, but all right. All right, this is once they raise prices and never lower them again. You want to bet?
I'm all about the set registry, by the way. Just saying.
The like I said, I understand Orlando's statement, but you guys keep consistently forgetting when the volume is as high as it is, and they're able to fill the warehouse full of those cards. And yes, you keep raising the price. But like I said, it all hinges on how long the Pokemon people want to send $20 cards to have $40 PSA 10s. And as soon as they run out of those ones, they'll do them as great. They won't do them as a new low price. They'll do them as grading specials. They'll do like the 1980 whatever, $20 a card. They'll specifically focus on certain categories, what they used to do before. But when you're getting more than 2 million cards in per month, there's no reason to do that. Zero reason to do that. When you get less than that, when you get less than 1 million a month, or you're starting to get closer to that, and your backlog is now at that 45 to 60 day number, all of a sudden you find yourself a lot more generous in terms of those specials. All of a sudden you're like, all right, Eric, Lemonins, $15 a card. Go. And then Eric sends them all.
You got to send them all.
Yeah. He even cracks out the one he's already got so that he can send them again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might.
Pokemon drives all grading companies. Yeah. That's basically where the money has come from.
I might want a double 10.
All they need to do is do what Beckett does and have a slab that can hold a slab. And now you can send it to PSA and then send it to Beckett. They're both owned by collectors. You make double the money.
Double.
Indeed. Think about it. Pokemon is having its 9091 Pro Set moment, though. Yes, that's basically what I'm saying. Printing to the moon. But the thing is, they literally have been printing billions of cards for years now. It's billions and billions and billions and billions. They've been doing that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, there was a report that they printed 10 billion, more than there are people on Earth. And the point was it still wasn't enough to meet the demand and stop the scalping and everything else. Like the shelves are still empty. People are still lining up at Best Buys and everywhere else, hours upon hours. There's still fights at Costco's, like all of this shit. And yet they printed 10 billion cards.
Yeah, so I was looking at that right here. I found it. IGN had an article about it. So 10 billion cards in 2025.
Yep.
And they've got more than 85 billion they printed to date. So they're basically short printed. And they still can't prevent scalping. They still can't prevent fights. They got poke riots in the poke streets, Eric. Poke riots in the poke streets.
That's a lot of poke.
10 billion is not enough, Eric. 10 billion is not enough. Turn on the machines again. Sports card market is much more mature than Pokemon. Mature is a strong word, but I understand technically you are correct. But mature is a strong. Have you met some of the people in this market? Have you met them?
Have you been to a card show?
But I understand in the correct use of the word. I understand what you're saying.
You can't get them to shower and use deodorant.
Yeah, they'll hit puberty someday. Cards will come down in 2030 once the card grading machine is portable. This will cause the prices to come down. Listen, just because you want to have a portable card grading machine in your house, Florida man, doesn't mean that everybody's going to go over to your house. Don't lie to them.
They tried that kind of thing during the pandemic, and those went out of the wayside. Do you remember those machines that they had in there that you could have your card?
Yeah, it was the
card something.
Yeah, you could do the community grading. The name is escaping me, but I remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. That's how great it was. Yeah. Nobody can remember it.
Well, I remember telling the story before, but I saw one at a card shop in Peabody, and it was stuffed in the corner, unplugged. And it was the size of like, a copier machine, like a Xerox machine. And it sat in the corner and no one had any, and this was during the height of all that nonsense. And nobody had any interest in it. It wasn't even
And
Not
I-
that attitude, Eric.
I don't believe this, Mike. I think for people our age, we're not understanding it. But I bet a lot of people, a lot of elderly people back when in the 80s would look at us and when we had our heyday as kids and stuff and say, oh, these cards are going to be crap one day. And the thing is Pokemon is relating to several different generations already. Carlos mentioned at the mall,
Yeah.
there was kids there. There was adults there. There was parents there.
Yep.
It's not just your 25, 35, 45, 55, 65-year-old people collecting these things. It is hitting and spanning generations. It also has the video game market, the movies, the toys, like all of these different levels. It's not just cards.
Mm-hmm.
What drives sports cards today more than anything is gambling. And so that's, yes, the adults and the flippers of the Pokemon, they're gambling, ripping these packs and stuff. But the kids and stuff are literally, I just told you, my son wants to start building a collection of the Pokedex. He's going to be 26. Like, this isn't about flipping or anything like that. He wants to build out a collection of the Pokedex. Mm-hmm. This stuff is spanning generations, and I don't see it. I'm not saying it's going to continue on this rocket ride, but I don't see it crashing. I don't see this sudden massive loss of interest or anything. It's its 30th anniversary. It's been going on strong all 30 years. And again, it appeals to so many different levels of generations. So I just don't see this massive crash. And I've been outspoken on it for a while, saying that I thought it had a higher confidence level for future than sports cards.
So I want to touch on that, though, because at that show that I was talking about, I only spent a couple minutes talking about it, Eric, because honestly, for the most part, it was just for my entertainment.
Right.
I didn't have any bizarre expectation going in, though. The reason why I wasn't upset about it is that to me, it was just like, okay, the weather's beautiful. I'm going to go out there. I'll take a look, see what's going on there. I wanted to take when I took that picture of that little bottom section there, that was at the quietest time. It got super busy over there. I did wander in for a couple of minutes, just looking around when it was a little bit quieter, when I could maneuver a little bit. But here's what I saw. I saw a bunch of kids with their parents, but then there were plenty of scenarios where it was kids with their parents who were probably in their early 30s, which means that the parents collected Pokemon, the OG Pokemon, and the kids are collecting the current generation Pokemon. So you got two generations of people that are, so they can totally relate to their kids because they literally grew up playing that same game. So they know exactly what they're talking about. So from both, so then dad or mom are excited for the kids looking at the current version of Charizard or whatever. And they're doing, I walked by just a couple of times just looking around, and I easily observed that in plenty of instances. Well, Eric, that's very easy for them then to relate because literally they grew up collecting the same cards. So it's not hard for me to see how the kids could then be enthusiastic or enjoy that. And then they're collecting it with their friends and whatever. So it's like two generations of people who have grew up collecting the exact same thing, and they're inside of that little space there. So my interest was, I thought it was interesting that, like I said, the amount of cards, considering there's billions of cards that we just talked about a moment ago, I thought there would be a couple of boxes with almost like the equivalent to the dollar bins. I thought there'd be a couple more of those. Maybe a couple of those guys didn't take advantage of it, because to me, like that seemed like a crowd that would have totally bought into that. Like they totally would have bought some singles if you had provided them that way. But regardless, I didn't go in expecting anything else. So I just went in, looked around. I was like, okay, that's nice. And then went to the food court and had lunch. So to me, it wasn't a problem because I wasn't expecting it. And by the way, it was a mall. There's no entrance fee or whatever. I didn't get charged because I walked around and looked a little bit. It was fine. But those people were enjoying themselves, and I have no issue with that because, again, it wasn't for me. That doesn't mean that they couldn't enjoy themselves.
You didn't get charged, eh?
Nope.
Not even a little bit, eh?
No, I got to go to A for free too. I got to see the bear. Be jealous, Eric. I got to see the bear for free.
Oh boy, you're lucky.
I know.
You're lucky, eh?
Indeed. Listen, you come by, we'll take it to A. You can wrestle the bear.
Gonna go to A, eh?
Yes. So many investors in Poke Cards got a decent floor, but modern Poke Cards and slabs aren't sustainable. Tell it to the Pokemans and the Poke Streets. Why would it be valuable? Pokemon's 30th anniversary is going to make reprints of some of the most valuable cards right now. The amount of seal hoarding is extreme. Psh. Florida man being skeptical of the Pokemans.
They've made the reprints before, though. That's like, I don't know what that has to do with anything. They did it in XY Evolutions. They did it in the 25th anniversary celebrations.
Brandon, I already used the example earlier today. The 89 Upper Deck Griffey, they printed a crap ton of those.
I mean,
you can still get value out of them if you want to. Like, there's millions of those.
My son literally texted me earlier. They're reprinting the Charizard again. I mean, like he's already, he's already looking at them and looking at the new sets and everything and seeing it. And, I don't know. I also look at it, remove it from cards. There's another category out there that a lot of people could say, oh, it's unsustainable, yada, yada. But I look at Pokemon with a similarity to a company that I think is absolutely brilliant, and that's Lego. I see similarities there because Lego builds a product that can be enjoyed by literally every age group. They have the Duplo sets for the infants. They have, the young kids sets. Then it just keeps going up. And now they're constantly making adult sets, which the one today that was released is what, $600 or something like that, $800. I don't remember what it was. The Lord of the Rings one.
They've priced themselves though this last decade. It's crazy what Legos cost.
And people buy them, Eric. They get scalped. That's the thing. It literally, when you're targeting multiple generations like that, and it can appeal because those kids playing with the Duplos, and then they grow up and they want the bluey sets or whatever, and then they keep moving up and want the Star Wars and everything else. They're moving it along as they grow, and they set it up with different price levels. The kids aren't getting the $1,000 sets. Those are for the adults. I just think it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I like the inclusion here of the Swatch collab. Oh, I could have a discussion on the Swatch collab. Love it. So good. Collect stamps. See, we're here offering solutions. I like that. I appreciate it. All right. Hockey is trying to go into business for himself. So I'm trying to make sure we steer the conversation and stick to the issues. Stick to the topics. Do you foresee the Brady shop or CardsHQ coming to big cities in Canada and putting longtime shops out of business? No. And you know why I don't see that, Eric? Because there are no longtime shops at this point. Those longtime shops have been out of business for some time.
Well,
that's why.
The Brady shop. I mean, we use the word all the time. It is the bougiest of bougie shops. And
wait, so you're saying it appeals to a certain clientele?
I went into it and turned around and got the hell out of it like ASAP. It is not a card shop you bring your kids to on a Saturday morning. It's not the neighborhood card shop that we have in our heads. That's not what Card Vault is. Not even close. It's a boutique card shop, and Joe Average probably can't afford anything in it.
Wow. You know what would fix that, Eric? I think we need to appeal more. And Brandon, this is a good opportunity here. We can come back to the grading topic in a couple of minutes. We can come back to that. But sounds to me, Eric, like the correct answer, the solution to this is to infuse the money into a more collector-oriented style of shop, Eric. Not Card Vault by Tom Brady. But what if instead we use the money and patronize CardsHQ? Yeah. CardsHQ that landed investment to open new stores across the United States.
That's all we need.
I've never been to CardsHQ. So,
and when they open up a CardsHQ in New England, the biggest card shop in New England, CardsHQ.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought like a year ago we did a podcast episode talking about the importance of card shops, and everybody was on this path of card shops are stupid, we don't need them, they're irrelevant, they can go away. And now all we keep hearing about is more and more and more damn card shops being opened. I thought they were irrelevant.
If having never been to a CardsHQ, I don't know if it's irrelevant or relevant, but just off the top, my opinion would be if I had to choose between Card Vault and CardsHQ, I would probably go to CardsHQ to buy cards.
Now, how quickly would you betray Sports World if the new CardsHQ in New England, the CardsHQ New England, if you will, if they have a Dunkin' Donuts built into the shop?
Dude, I was going to ask the same question.
So there's chocolate sticks in the
There's
shop?
literally chocolate
In the
sticks
shop.
inside.
Oh, yeah. That's gone.
I think there's going to be more than one Judas, Brandon.
That's
We already have a Judas. We may have a second Judas in short order.
That might be a deal breaker. I may have to get employed real quick there, and then they'd be like, "Where's Eric? We need him to do something." And I'm like Homer Simpson,
Sweeping the floor.
Like those donuts.
Brandon, I'm just asking the questions. I'm asking the questions. So real quick, I'll read the little blurb. There's a little blurb here. There's a longer version of it. If you guys want in the replay, I'll leave you a link to it. It's just an announcement thing, like, this will be awesome for us, blah blah blah. So anyway, so Geoff had been alluding to this, that he was going to potentially have investors that were going to go, because he wanted to franchise the CardsHQ thing and build more of these stores around. So this is kind of playing into that. So anyway, it says CardsHQ shop and sports card investor expanding nationwide with a new investment from Shamrock Capital and N1 Ventures, backed by One Team Partners and Intrust Global. So I'm not too familiar with these companies. However, I do know someone who is already starting to do a little bit of research, and maybe by Cardboard Cynics 12 or Cardboard Cynics XII in Roman numerals, maybe we may have a little more information on the backers and see what's going on over there. This next chapter means the new CardsHQ locations across the U.S., continued growth of market movers, expanded sports card, and now, by the way, also they're investing into the market movers thing too. So, expanded sports card, TCG content, and more. What started as a passion for collecting has grown into something much bigger, a money-making venture with investment capital. That's what it's grown into. But he wrote something else, but that's what it's grown into. Hey, if CardsHQ had bottle service, we're gonna have it. We need nicer shops. That's all I'm saying.
So I just looked up the investors for CardsHQ, and it seems that Prestige Worldwide is a major backer of CardsHQ. So, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you don't know. Prestige Worldwide.
Crumble cookies as well. See if they got a crumble cookies and a Dunkin' Donuts, crumble cookies and chocolate sticks. Eric's like, I'll be there yesterday. He'll be camping around outside while they're building it. Churro HQ pays. I like it.
I mean, realistically, but we were talking about the Pokemon and the lines that we see of people lining up waiting for the shops and Best Buys and all that. So having a Dunkin' Donuts wouldn't be a bad idea, because then you could serve coffee and donuts while the people are waiting in line. And then to have the crumble on top, when the kids come in to get the Pokemon cards, they're going to want cookies. I mean, this isn't a bad business venture if you really think about it.
What's going to be funny for me is that the franchising thing, I really don't care. One way or the other. You want to do it? Go ahead. And the whole investment thing, because I know they're going to probably play into the advertising and the media arm of it. But the challenge of a CardsHQ has always been, there's nothing special about a CardsHQ model. They're just trying to do like an upscale kind of card shop. The problem with them is that they're always going to have to incorporate those other aspects to it with the breaking cabanas and such. But then it's getting the singles. And CardsHQ, I already know, basically sets up at all these different shows, and they got their buying station. Literally, they've got their buying station. They have to keep feeding more singles into the ecosystem, because otherwise, there's nothing else for you to do. But you have to have singles inside the store. So that's always your consistent challenge. And again, you're starting from scratch. This isn't a Burbank situation where he bought some mega collections, because I think Virus once talked about a big purchase that he did that was like tractor trailers full of cards. That was one of the big purchases he made, like this massive collection. Well, if you're buying millions of cards at a time, you know, that's going to help you build up your singles inventory. So when you're doing your, so Virus already has tens of millions of cards in a warehouse ready to go. So for them doing that makes total sense. These other stores, though, Brandon, are starting from scratch. You got to get that inventory from somewhere. So that means you're going to be out at shows hoovering everything and anything you can get your hands on just to fill spaces in these potential stores. That's kind of hard to do, actually. It's actually not as easy as it sounds, because you're not starting with a lot of inventory to begin with, because again, you've got the main CardsHQ location. They need inventory. They can lend out some, but it's not like it's not like they have that much extra to give. They're not sitting on warehouses full of cards somewhere. So where are you going to get the rest of these cards?
I guess I better hit Facebook Marketplace and buy all those junk wax boxes.
Just saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting in the question.
Eric, just sell them your Tickle Trunk box. That thing never empties.
Yes. Finally, Eric has a place to fence all his Dallas card show ill-begotten gains.
Don't you worry about my Tickle Trunk. None of your business what's in there.
Yeah. So Cartel says, fun fact, early February this year, if you guys remember the announcement, it was announced that CardsHQ was set to have 2 new shops set to open within 2 major cities within America. Yes, I do vaguely remember something to that effect. Yes. He's going for the Boston Cream Donuts. Valid choice. Valid choice. Cards and ammo. Well, if they set up in Texas, ammo and ammo. And one card.
I wouldn't be shocked, because I'm actually surprised. We don't really have any, at least that I'm aware of. I mean, we have Blowout, I guess, but it's not a big shop. I'm surprised there hasn't been anyone come into the DC metro area. Like, because you have Northern Virginia, DC, Baltimore, all of that area right there. And outside of Blowout, I can't think of any like big shops that are ever talked about or anything in the area. I mean, I have a local shop that I go to. I have two or three new card shops here in my little town that have opened up, but there's nothing that like you really hear, especially as a major city, I guess, people talking about. And we don't even have a big ass card show anymore, because that went and got bought out by IKEA. So big IKEA. Yeah, they bought the Expo Center, so we don't have Chantilly anymore.
It's those damn Allen keys. The Allen keys ruining everything.
It's damn horse meatballs. Don't eat those, man.
So Eric, I have confirmed on GemRate as of 57 minutes ago, they have the new numbers. And one of these numbers may shock you.
Beckett.
I love being shocked. Go ahead.
Oh, Brandon, you know where I'm going with this.
No, I didn't look, but am I right?
It's Beckett time. All I'm hearing is it's Beckett time.
Ooh, I guess
the Renaissance is in effect, Eric. The Renaissance is here. Are you ready for the new GemRate numbers? Are you ready?
Is it more than 7?
Oh, it's more than 8.
Get out of here. Come on. You're full of shit.
Be scared, Eric. Be very afraid.
Don't even tell me it's 10.
145,000. Up 49% month over month.
Numbers.
Wow. Where do you think they're putting them all?
In your house, probably.
In my garage.
In your garage. The bikes are going to have to go, Eric. We need room for more cards.
I'm going to have to put them out back in the shed.
Yep. So PSA is down slightly month over month. Again, remember, this is months old, but still over 2 million a month. However, Beckett got a 49% surge, Brandon. 49% month over month. It's a pretty big boost over there. And SGC stays about exactly the same where it was. Now, are you ready? Shall we do the breakdown, though, Brandon? This is the big number. Shall we do the...
I'm going to guess we are... let's see. We're going to be roughly 2.1, 2.2 million TCG total.
All right. Let's see. Let's find out. We'll go over one slide and let's see what this looks like. So here's your sports and TCG. Okay. So CGC, to their credit, was able to crack 100,000 sports. That's good for them. That's
Are
a
they
good thing.
counting them, the ones that they're just putting in like card savers with an authentic sticker that they're using on like Fanatics or whatever? Are those being added to their numbers? I'm
Right here.
curious.
So what I'm
about that.
highlighting for CGC, yes.
Yeah, that's
They've got
that's just
35K
slapping a
for that.
sticker on with some information. What damn card is?
Listen to me. Listen, man, I'm not making the rules. This is what, at least they're putting it here as a note for you to note. Okay.
I can't read that, but yeah.
Yeah, but they do. It literally says CGC added 35K semi-rigid authentic cards to his population report.
I don't like that. But anyway.
It is what it is. I'm making sure it's disclosed. That the information is included in there. So now it's time, Eric, for the Pokemans, the TCGs.
Oh,
here we go.
This is going to be more than 7.
1.44 million for PSA, 527,000 for CGC, 100,000 Pokemans for Beckett. 100,000 Pokemans for Beckett, which means the majority of it is Beckett. Yeah,
right,
it means
there,
like 40,000 odd sports and then 100,000 TCG. And the coaster makers are 49,000 to 3,000 sports, and SGC 2,000 TCG and non-sports. The TCG and non-sports do not like the Tux,
but people buy them, and I have no dog in this fight anymore. I'm not grading cards at all, but 99% of the Pokemon that I had was graded in SGC. Probably not the smartest decision on my part. Lots of money that I spent, but I have listed some with the spike in prices, and they still sell. In fact, I've sold a few higher than CGC sells for. So I don't know if people have, if they're using it for a crack and regrade scenario, which that's got a wrench thrown in it now, or what. But I did find it interesting that they moved a lot easier than I thought. So,
yep. And this one is an interesting one, Eric. I like this one, this chart. This is TCG cards graded by PSA by month, going back to January 2022. So you can see how that just continuously gone up.
Yeah, every month. Just killing.
Yeah. And really the big turnaround. And so, Brandon, this would be kind of interesting. I don't know, actually. Hold on, let me drop this and I'll show it again. There's one point where there's an inflection point here where you can literally see the big surge happen. And it's right around January 2025. That's when the numbers really start to spike for TCG. So I don't know what happened in January 2025 specifically, but you go from like 500,000 to 700,000 and then you never look back. You just start going up and up and up and up and up all the way into a million plus. January 2025.
Well, and it would be a lot to go back through it, but I don't remember what actually happened to cause it, but there was a moment there in gem rates numbers that you could see that there was like videos being put out that sports card grading was down and sports cards the market had dropped and all this other stuff based off of gem rates numbers, because the sports numbers dropped in 1 month. But at that same point, the TCG rose. And I always speculated, did PSA shift because they were getting such an influx of the TCG that they needed to adjust like who or what they were grading? Like, I don't know if they disperse and separate when the stuff comes in with sports and TCG and all that. I would assume they do because it would make it easier. But there was a period there, and I don't remember what month it was, but sports card numbers dropped and TCG rose. And I don't remember if it was right there or not, but I always wondered, did they see an increase in demand and adjust what they were handling, if that makes any sense, what they were prioritizing.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ham's got a good question here that I'm going to come back to here in 1 second. Stook says SGC looks good to go. No shutdown of no TCG. That's true, Brandon. So for them, the Pokemans are not going to cause them to have any problem. They're only grading sports cards. They're their
own. Their owners are their own worst enemy. I mean, they could still be pumping 100,000 plus and getting them back in 15 days if they were allowed to operate like they were, but that wasn't the case. So we don't have that alternative option now.
Now so to Ham's question, so I'll include so in the gem rate stuff, if you ever want to follow gem rate on Instagram, you can scroll down a little bit and there are some notes. They'll tell you how many business days were in the month. They'll give you the information like that. They'll do the little breakdown month over month and tell you a little bit about the total number of cards. Obviously the graphics are great, but then if you read a little bit, there's a little info. So to Ham's point, and take this with a grain of salt because obviously these other graders are a little tougher because scraping the data is not as easy. Some of the bigger ones have these pop reports, so you can pull the data directly from them. These other ones, I don't know how they managed to scrape these ones, but they've got some info for them. There are a couple of other graders. Obviously, the coaster makers have made it on the graphic branded. So I'm going beyond, I'm not including them. I'm going to include other ones on here. But other graders, Arena Club is included in the list here. 5,700 cards. So they're not really, they're not really a player. Yeah. But here's a good one. What about AGS? AGS is included here. And AGS. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. And this one, they've got it listed as 36,000 cards.
I think they do a lot of the TCG stuff too. So.
And Eric, all I'm saying, we talked about it on Friday. Say it with me. KSA.
What happened to the company that was bragging around 2022 National? They had like a blue framed
that was the one with Kuntz. It was IGA or IGS or
IGS, something like that. Like, and then there was another one, FCG or something, that had like a black with a gold that had like some popularity supposedly in Bowman Chrome. People were respecting them or whatever. Like they just disappeared.
They just gone. But like IGA or I'll see if I can find it. I think
you're right. I think it's IGS. It was like that blue framed flip, and I know they were at the National, and people were talking about how good they were and all this other stuff. I mean, we could always go with the brethren up north. KSA could get a bump. Why can't we include them?
Well, listen, that's the one I threw out there. Like, listen, all I'm saying, Eric. This may be time for KSA to rise.
Rise. Flooded with KSA.
No,
all KSA all the time.
They're not going to rise. Sorry.
Listen, man, they grade a lot of the hockeys. And Eric, you allegedly like the hockeys, so don't be disrespecting the one that grades the hockeys.
I'm going to do my best to get Eric to purchase a KSA graded card at the expo.
I purchased one.
We need to double it. That's all we're saying.
I have the one Carlos gifted me out of the kindness of his heart.
An iconic card.
And then
some would say a grail. Some would say a grail.
I have this one, a 68, 69 OPG or in a KSA.
Oh, we need the new label. That's the old one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that slab is trash. The one that I sent you, the card there, that's the stuff.
Yeah.
HGA, Neo kind of likes them. Grade with KSA, that's right. Degree and C4 grading are getting a bump. That is true. And of course, they're in Florida. Florida man. What about raw reviews? Will those see some activity in the meantime? Probably for Beckett and a couple of them. Like CGC, we talked about the raw review was there.
I'm over in the tickle trunk and it's still on my desk from Friday when I showed it.
That's right.
That's how awesome it is.
Look at it. It's amazing. It's glorious.
It's glorious.
Good evening, Paul. BIC, best investment cards, grading company. We were talking. Listen, all I got to say is, Brandon, the BIC grading, we take that off, we're good to go. Big money. Just saying.
Hey, I can't. I mean, if we had the equipment, it can't be that hard.
We'll basically leave Eric in charge.
Just get behind and raise your prices. Seems to be the way that it works.
It's like, what happened? When did the backlog start? When we got to card number 3. Eric was like, God. It's like, what happened? We gave Eric one Gordie Howe, and he's been staring at it for 45 minutes. This is taking forever.
We have to make a list of things that we aren't able to do, like the coaster makers, and it's got to be a very substantial list. We already know O-Pee-Chee has to be one of them because Eric doesn't know what to do with the edges. So, I mean, that one's already out the door. Top
Brandon, look,
scorer.
I volunteer if it'll help speed things up. I volunteer personally to grade every single Fish Boy card. Fake, 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 fake. What? You have any? Fake, 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 fake. I'm just gonna keep spamming the button. Fake, 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 fake. Taken care of. You have any idea how fast we can get those out the door? Straight out the door, no problem. Paul's asking a valid question, Eric.
Paul can suck it.
Wow.
And as people know,
Wow.
I have a lot of rage and anger.
Clearly.
And some days,
Despite all your rage, you're still just a rat in the cage.
that is true. Some days I need, to fuel the anger. And I do that by keeping this right here and staring at it until I am officially raged. And then I move on with my day. But
What
this,
does it say?
It doesn't matter what it says. Okay.
To Eric.
Never forget.
Never
1990.
forget 1990.
Yeah.
Bill Ranford.
Yeah. So Bill Ranford can suck it. And
Good evening, Bill.
And Paul can suck it.
Wow.
And now Phil can suck it.
Wow.
Yeah, Phil
Wow.
can suck it too because
Wow.
Man, there's a lot of sucking it.
Well, hold
before
on.
We even had a shut up, Josh.
Is he saying that the 68-69 ore is badass, or is he jumping on the bandwagon to bust my balls?
Everybody knows, Eric, that the 76-77 is the only real one. The other one is a fake piece of trash.
I will hold off my Phil can suck it until he answers me.
76-77, Chicago Blackhawks grade Bobby Orr. There is no other.
Is he talking about this piece of trash in which he can suck it? Or was he talking about the 68-69, which he no longer has to suck anything?
So Phil, when you're doing this, I have to struggle. I have to try to envision it. What I'm envisioning is something like this. Indeed. Mike Ham, what about me? What about Raven?
But for completely different reasons, and we all know why. Stop calling my wife. Oh,
wow. Just wow.
Shock it, Trebek.
Paul's probably got to figure it out.
Yeah, he still won't answer the question.
76-77. Everybody knows.
Yeah, well, then
everybody knows.
Then Phil can suck it. Then Phil can suck it.
DiBiase, such a legend. Such a legend.
Yeah, he's such a legend. DiBiase can suck it.
Wow. Disrespecting the $1 Million Man. Damn.
And Virgil can suck it.
Yep. It's not a real card if it was airbrushed. I know. That whole Boston Bruins era, it was very sad.
You can see Phil Esposito sitting next to him on the bench in a Bruins uniform.
There is no Bruins uniform. They're not a real team.
It's right there. That's Phil Esposito sitting next to him in a Bruins
uniform. Was a gentleman in the stands that the very nice Bobby Orr, legend that he is, allowed him to sit there. He goes, "You poor child, you think this team is real? That's fine." He patted him on the head and let him sit beside him. That was very nice. They need to offer the like button for comments. Maybe. Do not besmirch the good name of Ted DiBiase this way. Do not besmirch his good name. Bert Blyleven already is my arch nemesis. Leave DiBiase alone. Leave DiBiase alone. It was a great Chicago Blackhawk Hall of Famer too. Exactly. It's true.
That is I don't know if he had reached Hall of Fame status while playing for the Blackhawks, but he was a solid player for them.
Say that's not him. Facts. I know. Oh, Phil, there's only 76-77 or there is no other.
All right. So see, now Phil doesn't have to suck it.
But Phil is generally uncomfortable. That doesn't count for anything.
Well, no, listen.
If he sees a pastrami sandwich, it could make him uncomfortable. That doesn't mean anything.
When Phil is on my side, you leave him alone.
I don't think he's on your side. I think you're taking it too far. Much prefer 77-78. Thank you. Valid.
All right, suck it, Phil.
All right. So I covered the card show, got that. Got the 2.5 million cards submitted. So Brandon, actually, we took stabs at this. Curious. You want to throw it in here? So let's go with the number. Let's say the 2.5 is valid. Again, it's an estimate, right? We're just making up numbers here. But you still have June 2nd is a real cutoff. But there is the caveat that you can get in, like if you put it in the system, you can get in the cards a couple of days or a week later and it still counts. How many cards does the backlog hit before the door actually slams shut, legitimately slams shut?
The totality?
Yeah, so right now, let's pretend our estimate, our running total is about 12 and a half. Let's call it 12 and a half right now, give or take. You've still got a couple of days and a little bit of leeway there. How many more do they get?
Well, they have till midnight.
Yeah, they have till midnight.
And that's tomorrow, by the way, June the 2nd.
Right. Yep.
So whatever's going on today, it still counts, and whatever's going on all day tomorrow. And again, there is a lag time. If you got it in the system prior to the end of the day, the cards can come a day or two later, be en route, and they can still count.
All right. So I'm under the impression that midnight tonight, that's the cutoff. But you're saying midnight tomorrow night.
It's June the 2nd.
Right. That would be midnight tonight is June the 2nd.
Yeah, we're on June 1st.
I don't think it's actually the beginning of the day. I'll pull it up. I'll find it. Give me a minute. But regardless, you can still guess the number.
Let's go with even 14.
The graded gamer says that she has until 3 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure you can still do stuff through the day in June 2nd.
Well, that's what I was asking. That's what I was asking. And thankfully, our non-sport correspondent has handy for once.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. I got it right here with right from the posting. So that fits with what Amanda's saying. So hang on. I'll actually share it here so we can see it. And it's listed on here.
We need to know East or West Coast.
Yep, it's specifically on here. Okay, to clear this bottleneck, protect the integrity, blah, blah, blah. Direct proactive set. Effective Tuesday, June the 2nd at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So 6 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, damn. So there's almost 24 more hours. There's
correct.
20 and a half hours left.
Yeah. So 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Eric. 6 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Amanda's time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is the actual cutoff. That is when the door actually slams shut.
14 and a half.
And you have to have them in the system.
What should I do with these Young Guns UD canvas cards, Carlos? Could you make me big for a quick second, please? Just so man can see something. I happen to have these UD canvas Young Guns of a certain player, and I don't.
You send them in at the $10,000 level, Eric, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I just don't know what to do with them.
One of them's not going to 10 theoretically because the picture is different locations on each card. So you can tell by the H on the boards.
Yeah.
And that glove hands.
But Young Guns.
So one is off-centered, but which one? Send them both.
Well, Brandon, you got to factor in that he is taunting Judas.
And then I have this Portland's Pirates gold card of some guy. I don't know. Jason somebody. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that one either. I don't know. I'm very confused what I should do with these things.
Mm. Phil here is saying canvas, beautiful card, sleeve and keep. Wrong, Phil. Send them to PSA at the $10,000 level, except those substitutes.
So those weren't in sleeves, nor an upside down one touch, nor a top loader. And Eric wears a hoodie quite often. Did those just happen to go into the pocket at Sports World?
I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm here to talk about how this is somebody's favorite player, and I have these cards, and I just don't know what to do with them.
Here's a good suggestion. You should get all your Joe Thorntons graded. Facts.
Yeah. Like all my Joe Thorntons. Yeah, right.
Eric, say the word. I will make sure 50,000 of them are sent your way.
I do have one Joe Thornton card that, again, it was given to me out of the kindness of one's heart.
Yet another grail.
Another grail, yes. Yeah, Maple Leaf legend. Yeah, he was something else.
Indeed. Put it with your Roman Hammerlick. Look at Ham making a reference to an actual hockey player.
Yeah,
Roman
right?
Hammerlick.
Well, he played for the Lightning, so I could see why he would know that.
Look, I'll still give Eric. I'll still give points. Brandon, this is key. I'll give points for a Roman Hammerlick reference because whenever I talk about the Stanley Cup Dallas team, I could talk about Modano, I could talk about Brett Hall, I could talk about Jamie Langenburn or whatever. No. You go Richard Matvichuk. Got to dig a layer deeper.
Wasn't those also the sets? And I will butcher the name, but it was the female goalie that was in there.
Manon Royal.
Yeah, it was Manon or Manon or something like that, right?
Non.
Yeah, I said I was going to butcher the name. My apologies, but you should just give me the props to know hockey from that era.
She's now a general manager of one of the PW.
Yeah, one of the PWHL teams.
Well, she was I remember that she was a big chase, like her autos and stuff in there.
Oh
yeah.
Still are. Upper Deck did a UD canvas set of her, and while playing for the Lightning, and there's autographed copies, and there are a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll see. So Bill's asking, you boys going to Halifax show? We're breaking bread together. So that depends on how the next couple of weeks go. I need a couple of things to fall into place for me, but I'd like to go.
I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
How does these go in? I can't get. I'm trying to get this in.
So Brandon, this is an employee of Sports World. I don't know if this will fly at CardsHQ, New England.
Amanda, it won't go in the holder.
CardsHQ, New England. They need to know how to use the sleeves. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to go. It won't go in like that either. I'm trying.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I'm working on it. Got to have a couple of things fall into place. And Phil, the reason why it's very important, because I appreciate that Brad and the people of Halifax and Nova Scotia, they set up that show the weekend of my birthday. So they went through a lot of trouble, Brandon. A lot of trouble. So I'm going to do my best. To go down that neck of the woods because it's the right thing to do in appreciation for the effort.
July is the best month of the year.
It is, very much so. Mm-hmm.
I thought
that, Brendan. That wasn't good enough.
That one was laying around. I don't think this is a rookie. It might be. I don't know. I lost track, but this might be a rookie too. I'm not sure. This one was kicking around somewhere too. I don't know where it came from.
Yes. So Eric, you continue mocking Amanda in silence. So anyway, Brandon, what I was saying was, yes, July obviously is the best month, of course, obviously off the top. But not only that, if that wasn't good enough, later on in the month of July, the AEWs did a brand new pay-per-view that normally they have like a Canadian swing. They'll have a couple of different shows. They'll have a couple of shows before and a couple of shows after. They literally have smack dab in the middle of it, a Montreal show, like a random Montreal show. And I'm like, wait, what? Why would you randomly have a show? But I was like sitting there like, maybe I go to that one too. Who knows? So it might be a really busy month, Brandon, is what I'm saying. July might be an extraordinarily busy month.
You would appreciate this. So I went out of my realm of normalcy on watching the programs, and I actually caught the Hulk Hogan documentary, which I thought was very good, very interesting. Remembered some of the moments from back in the day, but learned a lot about him and seen a different side. And I also, Andy, Sports Card Investor, shout out to him. He recommended the bowling documentary.
Oh, I heard about that.
That was pretty interesting. It got kind of annoying towards the end, but in the beginning, it was actually kind of interesting. So,
all right, I like it. But Phil, it's obvious to me. Like, out of all the weekends in the month of July, what a coincidence that AMG sponsored across the bottom of their AMG, based out of Nova Scotia. Oh, let's have a Halifax show, Brandon. Oh, let's just randomly pick. How about July? How about the same weekend as Carlos's birthday? Boom. Coincidence? I think not. Just saying. We don't believe in those kind of coincidences, Eric.
I'll put anything past him. Never liked the guy. Never trusted him.
Brad and I are in the same wavelength, man. Same wavelength. We know. What a coincidence. Stars hat signed by Richard Matvichuk. I love it. Fantastic. I enjoyed that whole 98-99 team. That's why Richard Matvichuk is one of my favorite ones to throw out there. Like, no, you gotta go the deep cuts, man. It can't just be the star guys. Everybody needed to contribute. Let's get some Benoit Hogue. Let's get some Guy Carbonneau. Show some love. Can't just be the main guys, show some love to the other guys. Ed Belfour is crazy. He's attacking people. I loved it. It was great.
Matrichuk is a SP signature legend. He is. He must be.
Oh, always an SP signature legend. Always. Hope to see you all in Halifax, even Phil. Oh, we'll do our best. We'll try. Like I said, the intention is there, but there's a couple of things that have to fall into place because, and I'll just be completely honest, Brandon, the eBays have been very generous for PC stuff. It turns out if you keep, unlike Eric's limitless funds and deep pockets that go all the way to the Marianas Trench, if you keep buying shit, eventually you're like, yeah, that's a lot of money that got spent. So we'll see. I will do my best. Collusion indeed. Very excited. Let me know if I need to give Yitz Eric's number. Yes.
No.
Listen, I'm appreciating Josh and Amanda commingling. This is Clubhouse on Clubhouse crime, and I'm liking it.
No.
Zubov and Zador for Dallas, indeed. Craig Ludwig on the 98 team. Craig Ludwig.
Legendary shin pads.
Trying to think now.
Craig Ludwig and his legendary shin pads. Those things were on a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. I'll do a little bit of research. Let's just see. Let me see. We'll find out. But yes, I very much enjoyed that team. It is a shame. I do wish the current team could give us some of that, any of that, really.
So, since we have a good hockey audience in here, and this isn't a pump, this is a serious concern and an honest question.
Prepare for the pump. Go on.
Sounded like things were in the right direction and a positive note for Robertson.
Yes to Craig Ludwig. Yes to Craig Ludwig, by the way.
But now I'm kind of hearing reports that it may not be a possibility because of what he's wanting and the cap space.
Well, I kind of told you that though. Like, so two things real quick. I'm going to give my opinion and then I'd be happy to get the chat's opinion. Robertson, based on his scoring and what he does, can command a top tier kind of salary because he's put up the points, he scored the goals. From his perspective and from his agent's perspective and his family's perspective and all that, I'm not going to begrudge him that. But it is really hard to get a player at that price point in and make the whole cap situation work because Mikko is very well compensated. At this point, Ben will probably work for a chocolate stick. So he's not going to cost you anything. He's not an issue. But you've got other people on that roster that are taking up millions. Yes, the salary cap will go up, but it won't go up to make up the difference with where Robertson is today and where he could potentially be if he had commanded and asked for, like what the going rate could be, because the going rate is starting to go up. There are guys getting more and more money. So now he kind of had to take a little bit of a discount to make that work. And I'm not telling him he needs to, because at the same time, you are certainly within your rights to ask.
Well,
but you're probably not going to get it because they can't accommodate it.
It sounds like he's asking for 14 and they only have 10.1, and that's before signing several free agents that they haven't even signed. So,
yeah. I think it's going to be very difficult. I don't see how the math, even with Eric's advanced math degree, we may not be able to make the math.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We could dust off the calculator. We could try this a couple different ways, but I don't know if it fits.
Okay,
that's why
so
I say
speculative. Let's say it doesn't work out in Dallas. Where do people think he will wind up?
I'm trying to remember last go around. There were a couple of teams that were in the speculation.
I know Pittsburgh keeps getting brought up, and that would absolutely crush me because I cannot stand Pittsburgh sports teams.
Yeah, well, Pittsburgh though kind of needs to make this their last dance because they got Malcolm back, so they kind of have to they need to make a go of it because Crosby is still healthy enough, but he's not going to be able to go there forever. And Malcolm signed for one more year, so you're only going to be able to keep the band together so much longer. Yeah, so Toronto rumors, it's a possibility. Let's see. Let's find out.
That would be interesting if he went to Toronto and played with his brother.
Yeah, that'd be kind of the pitch for that one. Let's see. 7 potential destinations. Oh, that's for 2025. Let's see. Because maybe some of the teams probably changed since last time, but let's see if we can find anything. So yeah, Chad, feel free to speculate. And also, like I said earlier, we'll hang out for a little bit longer tonight. It's not going to be this isn't the Friday Live, but at the same time, we got in quite a bit. We discussed the grading topic. We give some updates. We give the new gem rate data, so we include that in there. We scandalized Eric, which is important. We always need to do that.
Yeah, that is important.
Yes, and we did see some clubhouse on clubhouse crime. We did confirm that Craig Ludwig was in the 98-99 Dallas team. So we're learning a lot of things. We're confirming a lot of things. These are important things. And we did find out that Amanda may wait until 2:59 Pacific time to get in the last of those submissions. I'm just saying. Ottawa Grumblings, but I'd rather not. He's not ferocious enough for me. Yes, he's not going to. Robertson's not going to play a physical game. That's not his game. It's about scoring for him.
I was actually surprised he got a little chippy last year, and
well, this is what he has to. If he doesn't, he's going to get abused. Like in the playoffs, they will abuse him if he doesn't fight back a little.
Because her early years, he didn't like to get in the middle of things or be hit or anything. He would avoid the hit. Last year, he was actually hitting, so I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I'm just looking around. I don't know. There were a bunch of teams last year that they were looking at as potential draw destinations, but I don't know if all of these would make sense today. Regardless, whoever you go, you're going to need, again, following the idea, you're going to need somebody that potentially has the ability to sign a $14 million player. Because if that's what you're asking for, you got to be able to sign him. Otherwise, it defeats the whole point. Because this year, it's coming up on a restricted free agent. So he's not a full free agent, but he'd be restricted. Theoretically, you probably would want to be like, have an understanding that you're going to have a deal signed. Otherwise, it's not worth it for you. I have. you got to live more. you got to look in the right places. I have. You can find an angry anything you like if you look hard enough in the right places, or if you introduce him to Eric.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa, ferocious when she saw Eric.
We didn't get along.
It was like she had rabies.
I thought we would, but no, you didn't.
Well, Eric, you promised you're not a man of peace. Mother Teresa told you 76, 77 Bob Dior is the real rookie, and you started arguing with her. Seems wrong.
She was wrong.
Wow. Just wow. Indeed. So yeah, so we got that covered. Let me just see. I did have an agenda, Brandon, so I just want to see if I missed anything on my agenda here. Talked about the card show. We talked about the Pokemans. We did not solve the problems of the hobby, unfortunately. Our only viable solution is to tell Eric to stop sending in his goddamn Charizards. He's got to stop.
Yeah,
stop.
Eric, just put them in your binder, man. Put them in your bike spokes. You ride the damn thing all the time. Make it go, make it make noise. Go put them in your bike spokes.
Upset. I was very upset I wasn't able to ride today, so I'm a little grouchy.
Wow. Oh, I forgot.
You have one in your garage that's stationary.
No, he's a special boy.
Cards in the spokes.
He's a special boy. I forgot. I actually have a pickup. I have a pickup that I can show from the ComSeas as we continue in, the hostage situation of waiting for the ComSea package to ship. Go ahead, Brandon. Figure out what your new number is. While you're doing that, I'll quickly show this card. So pick this one up in the ComSeas. Here it is. Dynamic Duos, Pierre Tejan and Medano to 9.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like the patch. I think it's kind of it's a little different. It's a little off the beaten path, the patch there. The Medano one is the Dallas one, but the little number 4 there for Turgeon is interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
That must be like a size tag.
I feel like it's a tag of some kind. Yeah, I don't think it's not a regular patch. It's something a little different. I got to look into it. But I thought it was kind of cool. I liked it. I was like, okay, out of 9, that's fine.
Not necessarily size tag, like the laundry ID stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it caught my eye just because the patches were a little bit more unique. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
They're both Hall of Famers, so that's pretty cool.
They both did play together in Dallas briefly.
300
so there is a little bit of thematic.
45,216.
Wait, how many?
345,216.
Wait, Eric, hold on. So does PSA's backlog Get to 5 million before Brandon gets the Comsy thing.
Oh my god.
I mean,
So-
for clarity here, I requested this March 17th, and there's still 345,000 allegedly ahead,
You're so
Yeah.
close.
and on a
Close.
$40 shipping charge,
Yeah.
like in 2026.
Well, how many cards were in the shipment?
It's like 150 something.
So the
Like maybe
right now?
what is it? 10? Is it 10 per page? I think
10 per
yeah,
page.
so it's 150, 154.
Okay. So right now I have 35,400 ahead of my order.
Yeah, I've got 10 times that.
Yeah, and I requested it on the 12th.
And how much was yours?
$57.58.
How many cards?
Over 100.
What the hell?
Yeah, because I'm into page 11. So yeah, a little over 100.
That doesn't even make sense. And that's Canadian for you, right?
And this one's being shipped to Canada. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Brandon, did you tell them that you were a influencer? Did you use your influencer powers?
They
You gotta use the influencer powers.
You
I
didn't
think they charge like I have a weird feeling that some of these cards they charged me extra for the shipping. I know they went up on like if it's a slab or a thick card or whatever.
Yeah, they do charge
I think-
extra for that. Yeah.
So like one of the cards I got is an 0506 Upper Deck Beehive Auto.
Mhm.
Are those jumbo
So-
cards?
Yeah, oversized. Yeah.
Ah,
Beehive
maybe.
autos are 5x7, I think.
Yeah, that one probably got upcharged. I thought it looked a little big when you zoomed it in.
Yeah, the Beehive autos are 5x7 usually, if memory serves me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Marty Turco. It looks cool. So
Oh yeah, they look nice. But yeah, they're generally 5x7s. Those ones. So
I thought it was a little bigger, but yeah, I don't know. I've been I was actually talking to somebody before you jumped on and we were chatting earlier. I'm waiting on this order because I have a lot of stuff that I purchased for projects that I wanted to do, like binder stuff and all of that. And it's hard when you have, because when they put this all together like this, it mixes everything up. So it like doesn't put it in any kind of order necessarily.
yes.
And I'm trying to get it in so I can sort the stuff out and start getting it put where it needs to go, and then go back through and say, okay, I need to fill this spot in, this spot. And I didn't want to like continue buying and wind up with duplicates or whatever. So I wish they would hurry the hell up. But anyway, another week, another update, and not much progress.
So I stand by my previous question. So which one goes first? Does Brandon get his cards, Eric, or does PSA's backlog go, or do we get an update on Sneap A? I'm giving you
I
a
might
3.
get this shit, and Robertson isn't even a star anymore.
It's a 3-way race.
No, PSA. PSA will be up and running. PSA will be up and running before we hear from Sneap A and before Brendan gets his cards.
Nice. Yeah. Well, the thing is, for this one, because this shipment was at a price point I was okay with, this one I am having shipped to me, but it's got to get to BC. Basically, it's got to go from the Washington State office. You know, the building you can see from space. It's got to get there to BC, and then BC will send it over. So we'll see. But it's been kind of hovering around that number for a while now. It just continues to shift and just hang in there. As far as the USA mule, no, we got access. We got, you know, Yannick has already set the precedent. We can send it to the standard.
Wait a minute. Don't just say Yannick. I believe I had a boatload of items for you that I was stopped and everything was gone through in my luggage at the border.
And if I had sent the good box, then you'd still be there right now.
So it isn't just Yannick. All right.
Yeah.
I almost broke my back carrying your stuff over the border.
Almost, Brandon. I can do better. I can do better. I need to work harder. I need to train. I need to dedicate myself. I need to make sure.
I still think it's funny that Eric, who's been back and forth across there, my first time ever out of the country, and they're just like, let me right on through. And that's with me answering the one question, the trick question that made no damn sense to me awkwardly. I'm surprised that guy didn't like want to search the car or whatever. But
Brandon, first of all, look at this face. This right here is the criminal element. They've heard about the Dallas card show heist. They've heard about the string of disappearances of chocolate sticks from Dunkin' Donuts from one coast of that country to the other. Who could possibly be responsible for such criminal activity? Who could possibly be responsible for stealing from the family of George S. Patton, American general and legend?
Very true.
I never stole from the Patton family. That's not true.
See, Brandon, his criminal past precedes him.
That's not true.
He's like, it should be like, Brandon, at this point, it should be cavity search on site. Literally, the man should be there, like not even getting to the border. He should be on the area heading towards the border. And it should be a cavity search on site.
I don't think I'd appreciate that.
He goes to the McDonald's drive-thru, cavity search on site.
I don't eat at McDonald's. So there you go.
That makes it even more suspicious that you're hanging out there, Eric. What are you doing around the McDonald's parking lot? Are you meeting your Dallas card show fence?
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Mm-hmm.
What was funnier about like when the guy asked me the question that I totally misunderstood what in the hell he was asking me. But then I had to
name. I mean, how did you screw that up?
What?
Name. That was the question. Name?
No, the question was, and it didn't make sense why he was asking me when I was at the border of the US and Canada. Does anyone have any firearms at home? And I was like, it caught me off guard. Why was he asking me about what I had at home?
Because he had your address. He knew that you weren't going to be there, and he was going to drive down and get him some guns.
It just didn't make any sense to me. So that
was the agent's name Eric? Was the agent's name Eric?
But then I had to ask him after he said to go ahead and proceed if it was okay to pull off in the little areas where they tell you to pull up and pull over, because I didn't know how to turn the damn car over 2 kilometers. So I was like, shit, how am I going to do the speed limit? Because I didn't know
this has become a so what the way that my canon is, Eric, that Brandon first of all struggled with that question, couldn't switch over to kilometers. My story is going to be that he ran over 5 people and then suddenly goes, is like, that's it, we're done. He has this whole thing and then they let him through, but you cavity search on site.
Yeah.
You wanted to switch your car? I don't switch my car over.
Eric, I was in a rental.
Yeah.
And it didn't have like I'd never drove with freaking kilometers.
It says 100. Just drive 100. That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, nah.
Eric, that is why the police stopped you in the parking lot. Because that happened.
I was in the damn bougie rental car because they gave me the upgrade and everything. So I was in an Audi SUV. No, hell no.
It says, it says to drive 100. I drive 100. Not one little bit over. It says 100 on the sign. I do 100. That's it. I'm just trying to be a good citizen of the world.
It explains so much. It just explains so much. All right. I have a question. Do either one of you, gentlemen and Eric, have any pickups?
I showed you mine. It's just a t-shirt. I don't think.
Sure. Eric usually reaches into his trunk.
Yeah. You got Gary Howitt. Won 2 Stanley Cups with the Islanders. But here's a little bit of trivia. He is one of 2 players, because there were 2 players that night. I forget the other gentleman's name. He played for the Hartford Whalers. When Gary Howitt was playing for the Devils, and the Devils and Whalers were playing, they're in a huge storm. And the referees could not make it to the game. So by NHL rules, if the refs don't show up, each team picks one player to referee the game. So Gary Howitt from the Devils at the time and this other gentleman from the Hartford Whalers were pulled out of the lineup, and they were made referees. And this was like, I don't know, say like 1980 or something, early 80s, because the Devils were around. So that was like, what, 83 or something, early 80s. And the referees finally showed up for the start of the second period. But for the entire first period, he was pulled out of the lineup and he was a referee. Because that is the rule in the NHL. If the refs don't show up, each team has to pull one player and throw them the zebra jerseys, and they have to ref the game. And he and the other gentleman are the last players to do that.
Fancy.
And that's his rookie card. 2 Stanley Cups with the Islanders.
Mm-hmm. Laura here, good evening. There are vintage speedometers that are multi-talented and have both in the dial. Indeed.
Yeah, the analog ones will show both, but that car, you had to switch it, and I didn't know how the hell to do it, so I had to stop and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. You think I do that? There's no way I do that.
Eric, this is why even in the United States, when you go to the Dunkin' Donuts, cavity search on site. On site.
I got stopped in New York on the way home. I didn't get a speeding ticket. I got a stern warning. Very stern. I thought a little too stern. But I got busted in New York for speeding, not in Canada. Just drive with traffic. You're fine. Drive normal.
Eric, have you thought about trying this in Florida? Then instead of the cavity search, they just shoot you on site.
That's not true. Florida doesn't just shoot people on site.
Have you been in the fiefdom of Ham?
I've been to Florida.
Remember, there is no one Florida. We talked about this. It's a lawless society of multiple fiefdoms controlled by various warlords.
It's a weird place. I'll give you that.
That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm telling you.
It is a weird place. But it's not as weird as crossing the border and sitting in a parking lot for a half an hour to figure out how to turn his car.
It wasn't half an hour. You're exaggerating.
Kilometers. I mean, come on.
We learned a lot tonight. And my pickups included that card that I showed you and these 2 CDs that I got during the Pokemon convention.
I've driven Carlos all around the area of the show, and he's still alive.
But I'm dead on the inside, Eric. Dead on the inside.
Well, you were that before I started driving you around. But
how do we know that? We don't know that for sure.
I'm basically your Uber driver for like 4 or 5 days.
What kind of rating do you think I gave you? Can you go negatives on this thing? It's like, what happened? It's like, oh, did you leave him a tip? No, I left him a bill. Pay up, you sheep bastard. That's all I'm saying. And on that bombshell, that will conclude this wonderful Monday live episode of the BIC podcast. We got in silly card of the week. There will be a community post. You can check that out. Links in the description to all the usual things. Thank you for AMGs for supporting us as always. We'll talk more about it on Friday, but in the description, if you read, it's got a QR code.
Yeah.
You can check out IG Deck. If you use IG Deck, you can use the code BIC. It's free. I may have used it for an eBay lot and sold something. Just saying. May have. You can try it. Free 99 if you use the QR code. Think about it. Have a good night, Phil, and everybody else. And yeah, if there's anything else that comes up between now, we'll praise the content gods as always. I'll keep an eye and we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you do check this out on replay, though, I want guesses. I want guesses on how many cards PSA's backlog ends up being before 3 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, June the 2nd, before they officially slam the door shut. And Amanda gets it in at 2:59 p.m. Pacific time.
You have 20 hours as of right now to get your cards done. Stay up all 20 hours. Submit all your cards. They need them.
They do. Listen, that poor third-party grading company needs your support now more than ever. They've had to fight off boycotts that didn't work.
Oh,
They've had to fight off an endless array of Pokemans from like a Boston card hunter guy. Like apparently there's somebody hunting the people in the countryside, probably trying to find the Dallas card show theft guy. Not that we don't know who that is already. He's doing a terrible job, by the way. Just saying.
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's it. Brandon Bubbles and Ball Cards, known Associated 540 Flips. Eric, send us a door. You can send all your hate mail there on Instagram. You can also hit the like button. Eric pays for it because he's a rich bastard and his life of crime affords him these luxuries.
And Phil can suck it. Don't forget that part.
IGDeck.com. AMG, new podcast episode this week. It is extended. For the people of the hockeys, it is extended. By the way, that's the new product that's going to have the rookie game used memorabilia, including the patch auto. Fancy. That's what that one is. It's going to be the patch auto thing.
Oh, sign me up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And that means extended will be more expensive than normal because it's got something fancy in there.
Fancy.
Matthew Schaefer.
Money.
The Matthew Schaefer chase. We'll talk about it on the podcast episode this week. Linked in the description. Have yourselves a good night.